Hello guys and dolls, welcome back to Conversations with Zelia. I'm your host Zelia Lorraine, and this podcast episode is available to listen to on Spotify or any platform this podcast is available on. If you want to ask questions, leave feedback and comments in regards to an episode of the podcast, contact me at cwxpodcast@outlook.com. Today is Monday, May 6th, 2024, and today in our podcast topic is the character assassination of Loretta Brown. Now, what prompted me to make this episode was pretty much retroactively thinking about FamilyGuy, which was a TV show I watched since I was a child. And I remember watching FamilyGuy on the Fox channel when I was a little kid, because I'm a 2000s baby and I grew up in the 2000s and 2010s. And looking back, I had no business watching Family Guy or any other adult cartoon in general. But something I thought about was how much they harshly treated the Loretta Brown character. Now, for those unfamiliar with Family Guy or who only watched the later seasons of Family Guy, do not know who Loretta Brown is. Loretta was the wife of Cleveland, the token of Peter's friend group, and she and Cleveland, their whole purpose of the show was bringing the token non-white couple in Quack Hog. And you know that, and it's side of it, it's crazy how it took Good Times for people to realize just how much of a hack self-affirmed it is when it comes to writing black or non-white characters. But back to the story. And both Cleveland and Loretta, they fit two different stereotypes. Loretta was the stereotypical sassy black woman, and Cleveland was the stereotypical Tom DuBois-esque white is black guy, or square black guy. And we all know that they divorced or their marriage fell apart when Loretta cheated on Cleveland with the local creep Quagmire out of boredom. And that led to them getting divorced. Though Brian trying to get them back together and love Blackcharacters when Cleveland was messing around with his girlfriend, which is a long story, only for Cleveland to turn him down. And then the next time Loretta's mentioned, she's mentioned in the pilot episode for the Cleveland show, for the Family Guy spinoff of the Cleveland show, where Cleveland and their son Cleveland Jr., who's now aged up to a preteen, they decided to move to Steuben now that they got divorced and Loretta pretty much got possession of their home. And the next time we physically see Loretta, she's killed off in the karaoke episode. If anyone's asking how Loretta died, you know that whole running gag of Cleveland falling out the bathtub when every time the top of his house is destroyed? Well, that same gag happened when Peter dug up a dinosaur bone, and Loretta was unlucky lucky in that fall, and she wound up dying. And throughout the entire episode, literally Donna, which I'll get to later on, gets angry at Cleveland for mourning his deceased ex-wife. And not only that, Boss so stated how Loretta allegedly slept with everyone in town, enlisting almost every male character in Family Guy. And looking back, that was just a way to pretty much spite Loretta even further. And to make things worse, the only other time that Loretta's mentioned was in that whole Hurricane crossover episode, which happened within every Seven-Farm anime show, where it's discovered that Cleveland Jr. is an atheist, and what caused him to stop believing in God was his mother's death. and Loretta's never brought up again. Now, the reason why I did this podcast episode, because I thought about how they essentially took the one thing that Loretta did wrong and pretty much flanderized it to the point of making her a horrible wife. Like, the only bad thing Loretta did was cheat on Cleveland with Quagmire. Other than that, besides being a sassy black woman, I really don't believe that she was a serial philanderer, and I believe that they only made her out to be a harlot. It made her a mean-spirited woman just to make Donna look good in comparison. And I thought about how Loretta is tame in comparison to the other wives of Quagmire, namely Lois and Bonnie. Loretta is better to be a horrible character because of the fact she cheated on Cleveland, when Lois and Bonnie, they did way, way, way worse things than Loretta. Like, let's not forget that episode where Bonnie not only shoot Joe in the legs to reparalyze him because she didn't like Joe being able to walk again, but also the fact she literally traveled all the way to France just so he can leave Joe for another man. And then Lois, she done a lot of worse crap. Like the one time she violated Peter when Peter tried to be abstinent, and the one time she cheated on him with Bill Clinton. Among other things, but yet Loretta's the bad girl because she cheated on her husband with Quagmire and allegedly a bunch of other men in Quaghog. And then there's also another element to this. The only reason why Loretta was killed off was because the Family Guy writers were too lazy to cast a black woman. And I'll explain to this once we return from this brief intermission. Now that we're back for intermission, let's continue and discuss the laziness of Family Guy writers. Now, as I stated earlier, the reason why Loretta was cut off because they were too lazy to find a black female voice actress. Because for the majority of her appearance, Loretta was voiced by a white woman, Alex Bornstein, which comes across as problematic nowadays. White actors voicing non-white characters. And Alex Bornstein, she didn't want to do the voice anymore, so instead of simply hiring a black female voice actress, they decided to call off Loretta Brown's character and kill her off in the same gag by using the same gag involving her husband and have everyone laugh at her dying, just to drive the point further, just sound like what Loretta is. Which is mean-spirited itself, because Loretta, she, like I stated multiple times, she only did one bad thing. And she gets, in comparison to all the horrible crap that Lois and Bonnie has done, and she gets villainized for it. But then again, what do you expect from a TV show that writes non-white characters poorly and stereotypically? Which leads us to Donna Tubbs, who's pretty much, in my opinion, Loretta 2.0, but much sassier and more diva-ish. We're first introduced to Donna in the pilot episode in the Cleveland show, and Donna was Cleveland's high school crush who ghosted him for her boyfriend, her future husband Robert, who is the father of her children, Rollo and Roberta, and Robert is pretty much a scrub and a deadbeat. And near the end of the episode, and at the end of the pilot episode, him and Donna, they get married. Now, if you really look at the Donna character, Donna was pretty much exaggerated, a flannerized version of Loretta, but a lot more skinnier and a lot more sassier. Not only having wearing a wig and wearing fake breasts, but also her ill treatment of Cleveland, like that one time she faked the leg injury after getting healed from it, so Cleveland can cater to her every whim. And the one time that she was caught seeing her single friends. And also, as I mentioned earlier, her getting angry at Cleveland all because he was mourning his ex-wife. Like, Cleveland, like, what to get angry at? Cleveland, that was the woman that Cleveland was married to and had a child with. And regardless of what, that one big thing that Loretta did, that was still Cleveland's ex-wife at the end of the day. Donna was really a piece of work. Not to mention the infamous frappe attack episode where she threw a frappe at Cleveland all because he was being friendly with a female co-worker. And also plays to a stereotype about black women, how they're always aggressive when the man is looking at the woman, even though they're not being romantic with it. And Donna was a real genuine piece of work if you look at it, and not to mention the whole fact that she was pretty much your typical I can't think of the word, but the fact how Donna even got back with Cleveland to begin with. Like, back in high school, she ghosted Cleveland and rejected him in favor of her high school boyfriend. But now that said high school boyfriend, slash now ex-husband, turned out to be a scrub of the deadbeat, she also want to get back with Cleveland. Like, get the heck out of here. But in conclusion, I think a lot of people were way too harsh on Loretta. Like, Loretta, she only did one bad thing, but yet she's placed in the same level of Lois and Bonnie, who did way worse things. And then there's also her replacement, Donna, who's, in my opinion, an extremely sassy and aggressive Donna clone. But anyways, that's my TED Talk. I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. If you want to leave a feedback, comment, or ask questions, contact me at my email, cwxpodcast@outlook.com. I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.